What is up, Trend Pop fam? Get ready, because we are kicking things off with a story that has the internet absolutely buzzing. Fox News host Brian Kilmeade has made some truly jaw-dropping remarks about the homeless population, suggesting a drastic and controversial solution that has everyone talking. We're breaking down exactly what he said and the firestorm it's igniting. Next up, we're turning our attention to former President Donald Trump. In a candid moment, Trump admitted he couldn't care less about fixing the deep political divisions plaguing the United States. Get ready for his blunt assessment of the nation's political landscape and why he's not prioritizing unity. We're also taking a closer look at that explosive Fox News segment that has the nation reeling. Brian Kilmeade's comments about involuntary lethal injection for the homeless are not sitting well with many, and we're exploring the full context and the immediate backlash from public figures and social media alike. This is a story you need to hear. And finally, we're revisiting that shocking statement from a Fox News host that has the country divided. We'll unpack Brian Kilmeade's extreme suggestion for dealing with the homeless crisis, the reactions it's drawing, and what it all means for the ongoing debate. Stick around for all the details, and make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on so you don't miss a single second of Trend Pop. Fox hosts shocking, lethal injection proposal for the homeless. In a move that has sent shockwaves across the nation, Fox News host Brian Kilmeade suggested a radical and deeply controversial solution for individuals experiencing homelessness and mental health issues: involuntary lethal injection. These explosive remarks were made during a September 10 episode of Fox and Friends, escalating a discussion that initially focused on the tragic murder of Irina Zarutska, a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee. The conversation, which delved into the complexities of public safety, criminal justice reform, and mental health policy, took a sharp turn when co-host Lawrence Jones highlighted the widespread nature of the problem and the reluctance of some individuals to accept assistance. Jones argued that a choice must be made: accept available resources or face incarceration. It was in this charged atmosphere that Kilmeade interjected with his chilling proposal, stating, "Or involuntary lethal injection. Or something, just kill them." Co-host Ainsley Earhart offered no apparent objection, instead inquiring about the societal failures that led to such a point. This incident occurred against the backdrop of intense debate surrounding the murder of Zarutska by DeCarlos Brown Jr., a repeat offender with a history of mental health issues. The case has fueled calls for stricter public transit security and highlighted systemic failures in addressing repeat offenders and mental health care. Following the segment, California Governor Gavin Newsom responded with a biblical quote, while former President Donald Trump used the tragedy to criticize democratic policies and cashless bail. The public reaction has been swift and overwhelmingly critical, with many condemning Kilmeade's comments as inhumane and dangerous. Social media platforms lit up with outrage, and prominent figures have voiced their disgust. This proposal has reignited critical conversations about how society addresses homelessness and mental illness, with many arguing for compassionate solutions rather than punitive measures. This story is far from over, and the debate it has sparked is only intensifying. Next, we're diving into what Donald Trump had to say about America's growing political divisions. Trump admits he couldn't care less about fixing U.S. political divide. In a candid and provocative statement, former President Donald Trump declared that he couldn't care less about unifying a deeply fractured American political landscape. Speaking on Fox and Friends, Trump dismissed the notion of actively working to mend the caustic divisions that have come to define the nation's social and political atmosphere. When asked by host Ainsley Earhart how the political climate could be fixed amidst rising tensions and instances of violence, Trump offered a blunt response that immediately drew attention. He stated, "I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. The radicals on the left are the problem." This assertion places blame squarely on what he terms radicals on the left, while seemingly absolving himself and his supporters of any responsibility for exacerbating divisions. Trump's comments quickly ignited a firestorm on social media, with critics accusing him of failing to lead by example and actively contributing to the polarization he claims to abhor. Many users pointed out the irony of his statement, given his own rhetoric and its impact on political discourse. The remarks come at a time when the nation is grappling with significant political polarization, making his stance on unity particularly striking and controversial. This candid admission from Donald Trump is already causing a stir and raising questions about leadership in a divided nation. Now, let's get back to that shocking Fox News segment and the fallout from Brian Kilmeade's extreme comments. Fox News host Brian Kilmeade suggests lethal injection for homeless. Fox News host Brian Kilmeade has ignited a firestorm of controversy with his suggestion that mentally ill homeless individuals who refuse help should be subjected to involuntary lethal injection. The shocking comments surfaced during a September 10 episode of Fox and Friends as the hosts discussed the recent fatal stabbing of Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska and broader issues of crime and homelessness. Co-host Lawrence Jones initiated the segment by pointing out that the problem extends nationwide and isn't solely a financial issue. He argued that billions have been allocated to mental health and homeless populations, yet many are unwilling to accept the necessary programs. Jones proposed a stark choice: accept aid or face incarceration. It was in response to this that Kilmeade delivered his inflammatory suggestion, or involuntary lethal injection, or something, just kill them. The segment, which also featured co-host Ainsley Earhart, has since gone viral, drawing widespread condemnation. California Governor Gavin Newsom responded on Twitter, quoting Proverbs 21:13, "Whoever closes his ear to the cry of the poor will himself call out and not be answered." The incident has amplified national debates on public safety, criminal justice, and mental health policy, particularly in light of Zarutska's murder by a suspect with a history of mental illness and numerous prior arrests. The suspect's release prior to the murder, reportedly due to issues with the bail system, has become a focal point for politicians and commentators. Public reaction has been overwhelmingly negative, with many decrying Kilmeade's remarks as inhumane and a dangerous oversimplification of complex societal issues. Critics argue that such proposals ignore the root causes of homelessness and mental illness and advocate for punitive measures rather than compassionate solutions. The incident has spurred urgent calls for more effective and humane approaches to these crises. This controversial statement from Brian Kilmeade has certainly stirred the pot and brought critical issues to the forefront. Coming up, we've got another look at that shocking Fox News segment and the reactions it's generating. Fox host Brian Kilmeade's extreme proposal for homeless people. During a recent Fox and Friends broadcast, co-host Brian Kilmeade proposed a shocking and extreme measure for dealing with homeless individuals suffering from mental health issues. Just kill 'em. This controversial statement emerged as the hosts discussed the fatal stabbing of Irina Zarutska, a Ukrainian refugee, and the suspect's history of mental illness and prior arrests. Co-host Lawrence Jones framed the issue by stating that billions have been spent on mental health and homeless services, yet many do not seek help. He suggested a forced choice: accept available resources or face jail time. Following this, Kilmeade interjected with his chilling proposition, or involuntary lethal injection, or something. He then added, just kill 'em. The segment, which aired on September 10th, went viral over the weekend, prompting significant backlash. California Governor Gavin Newsom responded to Kilmeade's comments by posting a biblical verse on X. "Whoever closes his ear to the cry of the poor will himself call out and not be answered." The discussion has amplified the ongoing national debate surrounding public safety, criminal justice reform, and the handling of mental health crises, especially in light of Zarutska's tragic murder and the suspect's alleged involvement with the justice system prior to the crime. Public reaction has been overwhelmingly critical, with many labeling Kilmeade's suggestion as inhumane and a gross oversimplification of complex societal problems. The incident has spurred renewed calls for compassionate and effective solutions to homelessness and mental illness, highlighting the divide in how these issues are perceived and addressed. This extreme suggestion has certainly sparked a vital conversation about societal responsibility. And finally, we'll wrap up with a quick recap of all the top stories today. And that's a wrap on today's Trend Pop. We covered Fox News host Brian Kilmeade's controversial lethal injection proposal for the homeless, Donald Trump's blunt take on America's political divide, and the intense backlash to these stories. If you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe to Trend Pop for all your trending news updates, and ring that notification bell so you're always in the loop. Don't forget to drop a comment below sharing your thoughts on today's topics, and follow us on all our socials for more exclusive content.